Now I know what you might be thinking. How you fix your entire life in one day. That sounds like a headline, not reality. Stay with me because what I'm about to share with you, it's not a productivity hack or a morning routine. It's something far more fundamental. Your life is not broken because of your circumstances or your job or your relationships or your finances. Those are only symptoms. The root is something invisible. Once you see it, everything will start making sense to you. Later in this video, I'm going to share something personal that happened to me. A moment that forced me to understand this at a level I could not ignore. And I believe it's going to change how you see yourself. By the end of this video, you will have a clear step-by-step understanding of what has actually been keeping you stuck. Here's the thing most people miss when they try to change their life. They always focus on the outside. They try to fix their relationship while the same patterns inside of them keep creating the same dynamics. They try to build the business while the same fear of being seen keeps them playing small. They try to manifest a different life while their nervous system is still wired for the old one. And then nothing sticks because you can't build a new life on an unexamined foundation. Let me ask you something honest. When you think about the life you want, the relationship, the freedom, the version of yourself that you know you're capable of being, do you feel excited or does something in your body tightens? A subtle pull backward, a voice that says, maybe not yet, maybe I'm not ready, maybe it's not safe. That tightening is not fear. That is a pattern. And here's what I have come to understanding after working with women through this exact experience. Most of us not living our lives. We are living the conclusion our younger selves made about what was safe for us. When you grew up watching someone struggle financially, your nervous system conclude that money is dangerous. When you grew up in an environment where expressing yourself feels too much, your body start learning that being big is unsafe. When the people that were supposed to protect you did not always show up, your system decides that love requires you to be less. These are not character flaws. These are survival patterns, and they can be broken. But first, you have to become aware of them, and that's where we begin. I'm going to walk you through 4 steps. And the third one is the one most people skip completely. So take notes. It's also the one that makes everything works in your life. So stay with me all the way through. You don't want to miss this. Because here's what I want to show you today. There is a specific sequence to lasting change. And most people are trying to do it in the wrong order. When you do it in the right order, everything shifts. So let me walk you through it. The first step is the step nobody wants to do, because it requires you to be completely honest with yourself. It's called awareness. And it begins with one question. Where are you right now? And where do you actually want to be? Not where you think you should want to be. Not the goal that sounds impressive. Just the truth. I want you to think about the 7 major areas of your life. Your health, your relationships, your finances, your career, your personal growth, your family, your inner world. Now be honest with yourself. In which area of your life you're most stuck in? Because most people try to change all of them at once and end up changing nothing. The first act of fixing your life is getting ruthlessly clear about where the gap actually is. And then this is the part that changes everything. You have to ask yourself, what belief that I have been holding that has kept me from closing the gap? Not the circumstances, the belief underneath the circumstances. Because your life right now is a perfect reflection of what you have believed to be true about yourself. Write it down. Say it out loud to hear it, because you cannot interrupt a pattern you have never named. Once you have named the pattern, step 2 is understanding why it has had so much power over you. This is what I call realization. And there is a piece of neuroscience that I really want to share with you that changed how I understand my own mind. Have you ever heard of the 90-second rule? Here's what it means. When you experience an emotion, any emotion, physical chemical response in your body lasts only 90 seconds. 90 seconds only. After that, any emotions you are still feeling is a choice. Not a conscious choice, but a choice. Because you're feeding it with your thoughts. And this brings me to the third step. The one that I have mentioned earlier. The one most people skip. Recalibration. You can know exactly why you're stuck. You can understand your patterns intellectually. You can journal about your limiting beliefs every single year and nothing will change. Unless your nervous system actually feels safe. Safe enough to finally hold a new reality. This is the missing piece. Your nervous system is not a concept. It's a physical system running through your entire body. And if it's still wired for survival, for the environments, the relationships, the emotional landscapes of your past, it will override every intention you set for yourself. And then, and only then, comes the fourth step, manifestation. The part everyone wants to hear about, but not the way most people teach it. I will teach it differently. Not vision board and hoping, aligned action. When you have done the inner work, when you are aware of your patterns, you understand the mechanism and your nervous system begins to feel safe and action starts to feel different. It stops feeling like pushing through fear. It starts feeling like moving towards something real. And the way you prioritize that action matters enormously. When people ask me what to focus on first, I always say the same three things: growth, contribution, and love in the form of real connection. Not because they are more spiritual than others, because they are the one that feeds your nervous system deepest needs: to belong, to matter, to expand. When your actions are aligned with those three things, manifestation stops being something you try to do and becomes something that happens through you. I promised earlier that I would share something personal, and I want to share it now because everything I have walked you through, I did not learn from a book. I learned it from inside a hospital bed. There was a period in my life where my body completely broke down. Doctors could not explain what was happening to me. I spent almost a year fighting something no one could diagnose. And at one point, I was told to prepare for the worst. Laying in that bed, I wasn't thinking about my goals. I was thinking about every moment I made myself small. Every time I had been at the edge of something real, a bigger life, a truer version of myself, and I had pulled back. Every time I had let the pattern win. And I remember I made a decision in that hospital bed that I have never broken. I was not going to leave this world without becoming who I'm meant to be. I want to be honest with you about something before I close. Everything I just described, awareness, realization, recalibration, manifestation, this is not a one-time insight. It's a practice. But here's what I know to be true. The day you decide to begin, that is the day your entire life will shift. Not because everything changes at once, because you change from the inside. A changed person creates a different life without even trying. So let us come back to where we started. How do you fix your entire life in one day? You do not do it by changing your schedule. You do not do it by adding another habit. You do it by making one decision. The decision to finally stop living from the pattern and to start living from the truth of who you are. Here's your starting point for today. Step 1, take a piece of paper. Pick one area of your life where you feel most stuck in. Choose just one. Step 2, write down the belief underneath that stuckness. Not the circumstances, the belief. I am not worthy of this. It is not safe to be seen. People like me do not get to have this. Whatever it is, just write it down. Step 3, ask yourself, where did this belief come from? How old were you when you first decided that this was true? You do not have to solve it today. Just write it down. Just name it for you to know it, to be aware of it. Seeing it clearly outside of your own head, that is the beginning of everything. Because here's what I want you to understand. The life you keep imagining for yourself is not fantasy. It's a vision of who you are actually meant to be. And the only thing that is standing between you and the version of yourself is a pattern, a learned pattern that can be unlearned. That is what this work is about. That is what I believe in to transform your life. And that is what I created, Heal to Manifest, to walk you through step by step, the root level, so the change you create actually lasts. If what I shared today resonated with you, if some part of you recognized yourself in these patterns, then I want to invite you to take the next step. Heal to Manifest is the program where we go through all this together in depth. The awareness work, the realization, the nervous system recalibration, the aligned action. The link is in the description down below. And if you are not ready for that yet, I want to leave you with one question to sit with. If the life you keep imagining is actually the life you're meant to become, what would it mean to stop treating your own becoming as something that still has to be earned? Sit with that question and answer it. I will see you in the next one. With love, Khuloud.